Super short, super sweet, super informative video for you guys this time around. So I got a significant amount of work done. It wasn't huge in volume, but I had to do some digging, and I'm starting to learn how to use these TSX instead of JSX files a little bit better. And some of the magic is what you're seeing right here is defining props as a type and then having props just be everything. So props is organizing the types of everything passed in. Now, I'm using the word type here as well, but that's talking about the type of chess piece. So maybe not the best word usage. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna understand it because it's just talking about the type of chess piece, and it's not gonna get too much more convoluted than that. But if I go back up to board.tsx, let's take a look. So a couple of things I learned tonight. I need to actually include the word return when I'm mapping components. Now this isn't necessary in JSX files because I think the return is implied. Um, because I didn't have to do that in any of my previous JSX, my React.js projects. But having props organized here and have the types expected here, and then passing information in to those named locations, type equals piece.type, um, that that really should be doing some of my test work for me. So I shouldn't have to necessarily write tests for some of this stuff because they would cause errors on their own rather than me having to say, hey, this is what I expect when I pass this stuff in. That's one benefit of using TypeScript that I've been told is that you don't have to write as many tests because the information being passed through props like this already has to pass the type check. It has to be passed in as a string. Uh, and then app just has board. Board is mapping all of the pieces. I made board just a simple display flex direction cal so it would go down the page. And then pieces are actually grabbing the type of piece they are. So we should see 16 pawns for both sides, rooks, knights. And then just to do some live action coding with you guys tonight, I'm going to go back to board. And I also want to pass color equals piece.color, which should also be a string. Then I'm going to grab color string here as well. And then I'm going to go props.color, props.type. So that way we can see the color in addition to the type. So we should have 8 white pawns, 8 black pawns, 2 white rooks, 2 black rooks. So just an opportunity to go through all that. One thing we'll fix in the near future, and I expect this to be just a little more sensible when I'm using the API because the pieces are actually going to have IDs, is when you make a list, which is what's happening here, right? I'm mapping all of the chess pieces into their own components. They're supposed to have a unique key prop, and I'm going to use the piece's ID for that key value because they have to be unique. That makes more sense when I actually have the back end set up, but I will keep that in mind. This warning is going to keep popping up, but luckily we were able to test things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back. That was my whole story. So I'm going to git add all, git commit message, feature, chessboard, so board component, displays piece components. Awesome. Git push set upstream origin, feature sc9 board displays pieces. There we go. I'm going to head over to GitHub. And now we should have a new pull request. This was a cool one. Feature SC9 board displays pieces. The board component should display each piece on the board. And now it does. So at the moment, it's just text. In the future, it's going to be organized in a grid. But we're making progress. So now we actually have some TSX components interacting with each other. It's pretty cool, right? So I'm going to confirm that merge, delete that branch, git switch main, spell switch correctly, git pull, got all my changes. And, you know, I think that wraps it up for tonight. So I learned some stuff. Maybe you guys learned some stuff. But now I've got components interacting with each other. I'm passing props down using TypeScript. So this is what it's all about. I just spent an hour tonight doing something that realistically was only about 10 minutes of work. But I'm using TypeScript instead of JavaScript. So I ran into some bugs I wouldn't have ran into with JavaScript. So remember, you learn the most when you fail. So keep letting yourself fail. And let those failures direct you to a Google search. This is how we learn. So take whatever you will out of this video, but just keep on keeping on. That's what I'm trying to do.